Yo yo yo! We're back with the World Series. It's the GT3 Cup, round number 2, Fuji Speedway, the venue. And yeah, for an exciting first round at Spa. We are now racing in Japan, and we have a quick look at the championship standings after round 1. Beetlejuice took overall victory, Sluxy P2 and Oscar P3 currently the top 3 in the standings. But yeah, see, 8 rounds in total, plenty of points, and still up for grabs in this final cup of the GT driver career in 2025. And yeah, today it is Fuji. Are DOP settings okay? Pretty sure you should be. You're saved. Yeah. So yeah, we are starting soon now with the qualifying session, so a little bit of a conversation in chat going on. The fun Let's see. I need to buy some tires, and let's double check if it works. Car settings. Let's go to soft tires. We check in. Go to car settings detailed. So yeah. A little bit of confusion there in the chat. All right. Good luck. We are starting the qualifying session now. See, sticked in Evoc having some problems today with joining the lobby, or the game keeps on crashing. So then we'll go with 11 drivers. We start qualifying session for round number 2 then. Well, let's bring up our overlay qualifying, and then we go 10 minutes times 1 fuel times 1 the tire wear, 30 liters initial fuel. Here we go. Pick your slot, find the gap, as always. Drivers are hitting the track now, and who is first? It is River in the Lexus. That's one way to get some heat into your tires and spinning up the rears coming out of turn number 2. E-racing in the Porsche 911. Oscar in the Corvette C7. We have Shelty Alfa Romeo 4C. 710 cap in the Mercedes AMG. And we have Sluxy in the Toyota Supra. Ollie Henry in the Genesis X model with a Bilstein livery, okay, more like a BMW inspired livery from the NLS. Harry Savage in that BMW. Richie running Godzilla, GTR Nismo, and Nick in the McLaren 650S, and then it's Beetlejuice in the Aston Martin Vantage V12. And River is on the way for... No, is on the straight. Now starting the run for the first time lap of the session. So down the long straight. Braking for turn number 1. First gear for rotation, second gear for exit, I reckon. Don't run on to the Astro. Was a bit wide. Not ideal. Into the left. And then right. Oh, Coca-Cola curve. This will be crucial for the race with the tire wear. And it's a kind of back straight part. Go through the right kink, and then you're approaching Dunlop. The slow chicane right into the left. And we go a little bit uphill into the final sector. Technical part of the track, and open up the line, bring it back early on the power, and uphill for the final turn where you can run so many different lines. Second gear on the apex, and then it's go, go, go. Pit entry on the left hand side. And it is a 1:38 to start with. No, a 39.1. Oh, that's a close one. Oscar as well with a 39.2. B Racing 39.9. Shelty. Shelty Sluxy up to P3 with a 39.4. Shelty did a 42.2. Ollie Henry with a 40.9. Richie in the Nismo with a 39.6. And then let's have a look at the Beetlejuice. Last driver who went out on track for the session. Comes around that final turn, and now a head down. And hope for a favorable wind. Now it's a bit of a headwind, and a 39.0, so on top of the standings. It was 39.0. River Rockers with a 39.1 half-second penalty, so that lap will be voided. The next one probably as well, the penalty zone being at the start-finish straight. In 5 minutes in already, so just another 5 minutes to go. So in lap. Maybe we get some fresh soft tires. Interesting. Will someone get a 38? Sluxy improved a little bit, 39.4. Stays in P4 though. Richie into pit lane. Fresh tires, Shelty 39.8. It is P6 B Racing in P7 currently. 39.9. Nick with a 40.2. P8 it is. Ollie Henry then P9. Harry Savage in P10. And 710 Cap and P11. Currently Beetlejuice comes around. We didn't see any deltas throughout the lap. Could be a 38. A 38.95. Here we go. Oscar right behind. E-Racing. Final sector might nick a little bit of a slipstream. Looks like both are staying out. Won't be improvement this lap, but maybe with the slipstream. E-Racing improved up to P5 it is. Sluxy also 39.3, what I can tell. This P5 Shelty up to P2 with the 4C, and first sector massive purple. Then Oscar in the Corvette. Can he confirm this first sector, middle sector and final sector? Important. Oh, a bit wide. Ooh, that cost him maybe 1/2 tenths. Is he still up? Let's see, braking. Yeah, still like 3.5 tenths. On a very good lap so far now. Probably not the strongest bit for the Corvette. Wow, Beetlejuice sets a 38.7. So this could be still front row for Oscar. Opening up that final turn, cuts it back, and early to the power. And now with the run, this could be a 38 for the Corvette. Let's see, 38.8, yeah, close. So Shelty then third with that 39.1. No improvement on that lap. What about River? Comes onto the straight, and this will be the final lap then for all the drivers crossing the line now. River with a 39.099. P3 jumps Shelty. Where is Sluxy on the final lap? Arguably has a purple first sector. Not by much. Still, Optimum is a 39.1 currently with a 39.3 so far. So a little bit of time can be found. This lap not the best exit. We'll see. Still a personal best. So projected 39.1 might not help Sluxy with the position, but for the lap time and maybe to defend that lap from B Racing and Richie, who are not far behind. Now he needs to unleash the Supra power for the run to the line. Low 39 is possible. Let's see. 39.111. Yeah, stays in P5. E-Racing finished. P6 it is. What about Richie? 39.6 currently. It's P7 also takes a very narrow line through that final turn. And hoping to get the run to the line. 8, 9, 39, 8. So Oscar finished, River finished, so yeah, Beetlejuice takes another pole, but it looks Shelty finished, I think, yeah, as well. So Beetlejuice in the Aston Martin with that 38.766. Oscar 38.8 P2. Two drivers, sub 139. River and Shelty, low 39s. Sluxy as well. E-Racing with a mid 39, Richie mid 39, and Nick with a high 39 P8, Ollie Henry 40.5, Harry with a 41.7 and 710 cap. Already preparing for the race then. Right, so let's get rid of that and grab the qualifying results. Oh, let's see, 38.7 started Beetlejuice in the Aston Martin V12 Vantage, Oscar in the Corvette C7, joining him on the front row, second row, River Ruckus and Shelty, Lexus RCF and Alfa Romeo 4C. Then row number 3 we have Sluxy and P Racing, Toyota and Porsche. They are next to each other. Richie and Nick on together in row number 4, Nissan and McLaren. Then we have Ollie Henry and Harry Savage, Genesis X and BMW M6 and 710 cap in the Mercedes AMG in P11 on row number 6. Alright, so let's give the 2-minute warning and then we are getting ready for round number 2. Let's see, I need this and quickly have a look at today's weather. So cloudy once again, and it clears up towards the end of the race. So I think like we had the same scenario last week at Spa. Also, like, it was interesting, Spa and also Fuji, like around race day in real life. So we are taking real life weather forecast, and around race day it was always rainy, but on race day not much rain there on the radar. So that's why we will have a dry race then again here at Fuji. I would have loved to see a little bit of rain, of course, always spices things up a little. But now it will be down to the strategy once again. So we are having like 60-minute race, grid start with false start check, tire wear ×3, fuel consumption ×2, racing softs and racing mediums are available. No mandatory tire compound, so it's up to the drivers then to decide the best strategy for their pace, their car, their driving style. Yeah. And with that being said, let's get round 2 underway. Luxy just joined. Oops, I didn't see that there was a message. So hopefully everyone is ready now for a start. You have Beetlejuice on mediums, Oscar on softs. Okay, so already a different strategy involved. Front row, who gets the best launch? The Corvette has good acceleration, takes the inside line early, and I think gets in front. Ready, we see the cars behind. Turn one, let's see. Oh, that Alpha also good off the line. And then we have a look at turn number one. Everybody survived so far. Back to the front. Oscar has to defend the inside line. Stays in P1. Beetlejuice P2. Shelty on mediums up to P3. Rivercross on mediums as well. Lost the position before. Ridgely with a good start in the Nissan on mediums as well. In Sluxy, we know that Supra is not very good off the line, is on mediums in P6, P Racing on the mediums in the Porsche. P7 right behind Slux. Nick McLaren also on mediums, braking for the Dunlop. Gets a little bit messy, I think, but everyone survived by the looks of it, and I think the only one running with a penalty was E-Racing. Only cut too much on the outside. Now Nick on the inside gets that position, but a cutback. Oh, and Sluxy with a moment. I think that car was spinning. Oh, and Richie had contact with Sluxy by the looks of it. Oh, let's watch the replay. Oh yeah, Richie understeered into Sluxy. You saw the risk, like with taking multiple lines through that final turn. Yeah, let's continue. 57 minutes and 30 seconds still to go in this race, a long way. And let's sort the grid order. Oscar leading, the only driver I've spotted on soft tires. Let's have a quick look. No, also Harry Savage is on the softs. So, okay, Oscar leading on softs, half a second the gap to Beetlejuice in P2. Then Shelty in P3, but lost the slipstream range. Already River in P4, keeping up with Shelty. And then we have 3.5 seconds to Nick. That was like this incident right in front of them. Nick and B Racing. Oh, they gained positions but lost a little bit of time. Harry in P7, 710 cap, coming out of the final turn. Got overtaken by Sluxy Ritchie, now in P10, and Ollie Henry had an off check, maybe somewhere, dropped all the way down to P11 currently. So I have no clue about the strategy. I reckon that you can run the softs probably up to 20 minutes if you're very brave, but I reckon 15 minutes might be the maximum, really, before you start losing too much time. So a medium one stop could be like the go-to strategy for most of the drivers. Oscar maybe a 2-stop, soft medium maybe something like that. But yeah, we will have to wait and see at least 10 more minutes, so we could get like an idea, a picture what the strategy might look like. Then for our driver, so Oscar on the soft still leading, now open up that gap. And Shelty in P3. Yeah, Ewok, I saw you like joining, leaving, and sometimes the game doesn't want you to play. Or maybe, I don't know. Worst case, you have to uninstall and reinstall the game, and maybe that fixes it. And River with a nice move down the inside. Now there's to defend that position. Got a little bit of a gap before the next braking zone, so makes that move stick up to P3. Shelty P4. Nick versus B Racing battle for P5. McLaren versus Porsche. Let's go on board. Again, different approaches to that final turn. Nick took a wide entry. B Racing now with the tighter line. Gets immediately into slipstream range. Needs to get a little bit of more toe. Think so they're running side by side. A little side draft maybe. There you see the difference. McLaren good top end. But B Racing hangs it around the outside. Turn 1, he can keep it on the black stuff. He should have position for the next left-hander indeed. He completes the move, drifts it slightly, and then opens up that gap half a second already. Slugsy up to P7 and got past Mary. And Richie trying to do the same. 6, 7, 10. That gap gets a better run. Nearly loses the rear though. And now I think Harry, lifted, I think that there might have been a little bit of contact coming out of the turn. So Richie up to P8. Harry versus 7-10 cap. The battle for P9 and P10 with Ollie Henry also catching. So a three-way battle incoming for positions 9, 10 and 11. Genesis, AMG and BMW. Have a quick look at Oscar's tire wear. The front left tire, the problematic one, and it's 30% roughly, I think, after 8-9 minutes of racing. So I still think 20 minutes might be a stretch. Yeah, no, nearly 40% though. The Coca-Cola curve is like a tire killer, and so that the tread will come down very quickly. Beetlejuice doing a really good job sticking with Oscar on the mediums, and having a nice little 4.5 second gap to River in P3. Shelty is still within a second, so can enjoy a little bit of a tow. Coming down on the main straight. Racing opened up a second, then to Nick in P6 should be fairly safe with that gap before turn number 1. What happened to Richie? He's dropped down to P11 again, so that's not an ideal start to the race. 10 minutes in. An incident with a Sluxy, and then another one. Ooh, a 2-minute lap, and that was a big off for Richie. And here we go. That battle for P8 it is now. Very savage. 710 cap. Ollie Henry. Harry in the BMW is on the racing softs. 710 cap and Ollie Henry on the mediums. Understeers. Opportunity for both drivers to go for a move. Will they go 3 wide? No. 710 understeers a little bit. Opens up a gap. Then for Ollie Henry, who is down the inside and gets that position. He cuts the grass a little bit, so they're side by side uphill again, losing that position to Harry again, and 710 kept chilling a little bit, taking it easy. Just wait for the straight, I think. Could be a possibility. Oh no! And then he loses it coming out of the final turn. The rear is stepping out. So he's out of that battle for now. And Ollie Henry gets the run. But Harry tucks in right behind using the slip. Braking for a turn number 1. Oops, saying hello. Giving a little bit of a tap. But a very gentle tap it is. And 710 into pit lane. Richie up to P10. It is quite an early pit stop. Oh, Oscar's tire now. Whoa. That escalated quickly. So yeah, 13 minutes in, and it's maybe one more, but yeah. Not even close to 20 minutes, so just with goodwill 15 minutes. So I think he's staying out for one more. Under attack now. Doesn't go defensive. I think Viltus will pull alongside and taking the lead. Those tires, yeah, they look really good. It's the mediums compared to Oscar's soft in that Corvette. Oh, River with a wiggle. Nearly lost it. Gap to Oscar 5 seconds. Currently, so they, in theory, they should be gaining on Oscar. Now, tire advantage, crossover point reached, I reckon. But some minor mistakes, some off tracks. Didn't really help. River and Shelty, P3 and P4. We stay with Oscar now. So really bring his car in. Yeah, he's losing quite some time on this lap, and right hand side. So yeah, pit stop incoming. So what's it gonna be? Mediums, to see how long they will last. Could be, we'll see. So River then P2, Shelty P3, Oscar in pit. They now be racing, moves up into P4, Nick P5, Sluxy will also jump Oscar for now. Oscar, another set of soft tires it is. Okay, so he's going for soft so far. One, it's P7 for now. And 710 cap in the chat, so retired the car by the looks of it. Harry Savage is in. Getting rid of the soft tires. These are the starting tires. Maybe another set of softs incoming as well. Or go for mediums. We will see in a couple of seconds. Richie, what is possible for Richie? Yeah, mediums then for Harry. So Ollie Henry in a P8 and on the mediums. A little bit of a drift coming out of the final turn. Yeah. 3 second the gap. First got in 2 slugs currently, and Sluxy gaining on Nick and B Racing as well. 2.3 seconds, just a gap to Nick, who has another 2.3, 2.45, something like that now, to B in P4. Shelty right behind River again. And we see also quite a difference between River and Shelty, that front left tire. So that at Alpha 4C is a light car, and Shelty was known as one of the tire whisperers on the game. Maybe Shelty can go for a medium soft strategy, looking at the tire saving abilities. That Lexus, yeah, seems to be chewing the tires a bit more, also compared to Beetle in the lead. That's yeah, quite a difference on that front left. So if you want to go for the warm stop, it's another 10 minutes on those. So I think it should be okay. And to get to the 30-minute mark roughly, and then go for a fresh set of mediums. And Nick, Sluxy and Oscar, gaps are coming down. The second for Oscar on those fresh soft tires with a 39.0, fastest lap of the race so far. Coasting through Coca-Cola, gaining 2-3 tenths. Still more grip with those softs compared to the mediums. Nick and Sluxy on the medium tire compound since the start of the race. Now, will we see a move before the final turn? No, Oscar's staying behind for now, hoping for the run down the main straight. Gets a good exit, less than 2/10. Yeah, maybe pump drafting could be an option. Sluxy gets a little bit of slip, and here probably from Nick McLaren. Now look at that, the Supra pulling in 5th, 6th gear, and Oscar got it stopped before the apex. Next target is Nick. Nick goes deep, opening up the inside line for Oscar, and also Sluxy might have a look on Nick now. Sluxy also with a now tire saving strategy. Medium still looking very good, so he also a candidate for a medium to soft strategy. Will the Supra be supreme at the end of the straight? It's half a second for now. Really short shifting the car, and now using 5th and 6th gear. Now that Supra is pulling and pulling and pulling. 3/10, less than 3/2. Will he send it? Yeah, Nick leaves the inside open. Gets the better acceleration out of turn number 1, has the inside line. No, doesn't defend the inside, goes back to the racing line, feels comfortable enough to get the line, touches the inside bollard, runs nearly off track. It's now very close now for track limits for Nick, so he managed to get away with it, but it was on the very edge, I think. And what's Sluxy's mindset now? Pretty sure, yeah, Sluxy is saving fuel and is saving tires. I wouldn't be surprised to see him going for the softs for that second stint of the race. And Oscar already behind V-Racing. V-Racing also looking after those tires. Let's have a look at the river, the front left. That's 75 to 80% wear. Oh, we hear some sounds. Someone had an off. It was Harry. I think I heard some weird tire sounds. So shelter 50% of fuel and just over 50% tires left. So say in a very economic way to drive. Oscar with the pass on the B Racing. was quite easy, I think. Nick versus Luxy, part 2 or 3. The gap to B Racing 4 seconds. And Nick fighting for that P6. Can he keep Sluxy behind him? That's the question. Half a second. That final turn is quite crucial, so usually the McLaren not the best with low speed acceleration, and then leaves the inside line open. Opportunity for Sluxy. But then it's slipstream. And for Nick, maybe on purpose. Go for it. Sluxy not defending. So inside line for Nick into turn number 1. Can he brake late? He can. Goes a bit too wide onto the Astro, and then Sluxy with the move. And a second now. To Nick and 4 seconds, and the gap to B Racing. Ollie Henry in P8 on worn mediums. Richie in 9th position, also on quite worn mediums. 4 seconds, that gap to P8. And Harry on the medium stint now. The tire wear now. We see also for Beetlejuice 80%, River down to 90. I think ideally he wants to do at least one more, but then he goes to the right hand side. Maybe he's faking on the pit stop. Let's see, he's not slowing down, no, he's just driving to the right hand side, trying to break the toe somewhat. That front left is hurting now. Just spotted a little bit of an, I think that was the indicator, maybe signaling Shelty, hey buddy, come on, you can pass now. Shelty's tire wear so much better. So my guess is River will be pitting this lap. And then it is mediums again, and yeah, might also put in a little bit of fuel just to be sure. So Beetlejuice staying out for one more. What about River now coming round? The final turn. Shelty running wide, following River's lines. This time River indicating he will be pitting, and there's Shelty going for the overcut. Oscar on that second stint, so tire wear looking much better compared to the first one. B Racing is in now as well, going for the one-stop medium. Here comes Sluxy. Tire 60%, the front left after roughly 30 minutes. So yeah, maybe aiming for 40 minutes on mediums, 20 minutes on softs in that ballpark. So Nick in P5. River this time probably didn't misclick and using the mediums. Racing also on mediums again. Ollie Henry is in, Richie is in. Also medium would be my idea. Ollie Henry putting in quite some fuel. And Richie right behind. Less fuel. Not close enough to go for a move. Maybe that exit. No, that was a bit of a slide. Couldn't take advantage of the shorter pit stop. Beetlejuice in now. Yeah, not going for any risk here. Going for medium. Medium. Oh, and Shelty as well. It's mediums again. So what about Slugsy? Is he also pitting now? Yep. Okay, there goes my my guess with we might see medium to soft, so it looks like medium as the one stop for most of the drivers. We have Oscar who did soft so far, so he has to come in very soon again, looking at the tire wear, and yeah, I guess it will be then mediums for Oscar as well to finish the race. So Oscar on the softs leading, needs to pit soon. Beetlejuice on the predicted one stop medium, roughly 10 seconds the gap to River. And the overcut for Shelty didn't work for now, so the gap roughly the same. It went up half a second. Was like within 5/6 tenths before pit stop. Be racing in P5. And Slugsy trying to catch that slipstream. Now 1.3 now. Okay, that was a massive gain through the Dunlop chicane. 0.2 Oscar in now, so okay, we will then see him probably pitting for mediums, or he will stay on softs and do another pit stop. It is all possible. 1.2, 1.3 now the gap. E-Racing versus Slugsy. Oscar refueling in the car, and it is mediums, alright. So he's coming out of pit lane, and it is P4 for now, but it will be close between Oscar, E-Racing and Slugsy. A second roughly apiece. The gap to Shelty, 7-8 seconds for Oscar. So everyone now on a fairly similar strategy to end this race. So that's being on the medium tire compound. Racing now bringing the heat. Half a second gained on Oscar. Slugsy within a second. Oof, that was a bit of a wide exit. Nearly went too wide. Lost the car. So a second. Slipstream still a fact. But also E-Racing having Oscar's slip. Where's B? No. Couldn't get close enough. Yeah, so this still could be very, very interesting then for the remaining 25 minutes. Also towards the end of that stint, tire wear will be an issue. Oh, Sluxy struggling on corner exit, losing 2/3 again. At the sharp end of this grid, Beetlejuice in full control of this race, keeping that gap steady to roughly 10 seconds. Ruckus in P2, trying to break the toe. 1.5, 1.6. I think he just got a nice final sector, and the Sheltie with not the best, and drops out of slipstream range for now. Then Oscar B and Sluxy also just outside of the toe. He racing, yeah, probably likes the fact that Oscar is towing him down the main straight, so keeping Sluxy at bay. I think in P6, Nick, and in P7 now, in kind of no man's land. Ollie Henry now on the soft tires. Okay, that is interesting. I have quite some doubts that he will make those softs last till the end of the race. A little bit of an advantage for now versus Richie, who is on the mediums for now. It's a bit more downforce through the long double right-hander, and then pulls the inside line and stays good track limits, but Ollie Henry with a nice little bit of a cutback. Oh, there is a yellow flag for a brief moment. Don't think our leaders had a moment. Looks like it all is status quo. Oh, Richie with a move into the final turn. Ollie Henry relying on the acceleration coming out of the final turn and getting in front again, but giving Richie the slipstream again. Side-by-side braking for turn number 1. Richie with the inside line, and he gets it stopped for now. Runs a bit wide, then can cover and should have position for the next complex of corners. That gives him 8/10 for now. Beetlejuice now. Whoa. Big jump from 10 to 11.7. Maybe River and Sheltie are battling now. We'll see. A second separating those two. Oscar still 7 seconds the gap. Be racing. Still hanging in there. Sluxy maybe with a penalty. 2.4, 2.5. Now definitely out of slipstream range. Ooh, just what I was like, yeah, let's go to the battle for P2. Sheltie collecting himself a half-second penalty. So I think he might be dropping out of slipstream range then. It's 8, 9 tenths at the moment, so this might be a crucial minor mistake then, that penalty. River keeping it clean and steady. It's still roughly 8 tenths. And Shelty, the rear stepping out. So a second heading into the penalty zone, and it's a goodbye slipstream for now. We'll go up to, what's that, 2.2, 2.3 maybe, before the end of the straight. Yeah, not ideal for Shelty. Oscar, of course, helped him massively, under 6 seconds. Now, and B Racing nearly lost the tow. Slugsy without the slipstream. Now, maybe looking after the tires to make some moves the final couple of minutes. Think he should have a little bit of advantage compared to Oscar and B Racing when it comes down to tire wear. So if he keeps that gap at roughly 4 seconds, we'll see. I think it's not over, that battle for P4 for now. Maybe even more, so Shelty is out of that slipstream range, as we've seen the last tap round. What lap times are possible now? It's 3 seconds. Then already that gap. .6 to Oscar, a second. B Racing with a good final sector, second half of the race. Slugs a little bit of cruise mode currently, so we still see the timer just under 17 minutes to go. Nick in P7, Richie after the overtake with gap to Ollie Henry, now 2.3 seconds, and Harry Savage on another set of soft tires. So can he make those softs last until the end of the race? That will be the question. Also that fastest lap, those 5 extra points will go to Oscar if no one else is going on to softs then very late to try to get them. I have a feeling that Slugsy, if he cannot keep up, he's losing too much time, so he has 15 seconds for now. So maybe he would be someone who, like, towards the very end of the race, pit for fresh soft tires and go for those fastest lap points. He will most likely stay in P6, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Beetlejuice, like another dominant performance. He won round 1 at Spa, now leading the second round with 12 seconds. We've seen that the Aston Martin with adjustable downforce is a weapon in the Group 3 category on Gran Turismo 7. And he got lucky that this car was still available when he was on the clock to pick the car for the season. River in the Lexus RCF. We saw in the first stint a tire wear could become an issue later on with 15 minutes to go roughly. We see that front left already close to 50% wear. Shelty, after losing the slipstream, now struggling a little bit with pace all by himself. It's 4 seconds to River and 4.4 to Oscar. Oscar is pushing. Podium still possible, I reckon. So 4.2 de-racing. Not letting Oscar go. Yeah, Sluxy, that gap's too big now, even with looking after tires towards the end of the race. Also, he's currently losing time to Nick, so also this strategy option to pit late and go for the chance to pick up points for fastest lap without losing a position might be in danger. Ollie Henry is back on mediums again, so he was not gonna make it on softs. No surprise. And who was responsible for the yellow flag? It was a brief moment. Don't think our front runners. Good news for us guys that at gap to B Racing now up to 2 seconds. So B Racing lost the toe now. And the gap between Shelty and Oscar 4 seconds, so Oscar's gaining a little bit. Shelty recovered the lap times, sub 41s now again. And River Ruckus using more of the tires into the 41s now. It's just an outlier, or is it now the pace can go with the current state of his black tires, the mediums. Keeping that gap now at 4 seconds, but Shelty with a little mistake maybe. Oh, Ritchie onto the soft tires. He's probably in a position where he won't be losing any positions. Also having a look at a fastest lap. .5. Shelty lost, I think, half a second in this lap compared to Oscar. 41 again for Shelty, 40.5. Yeah, that was even more, like 8/10. You're racing with a 40.8. Sluxy with a 53, so he's also going for softs. No, he's pretty much given up on on this race. P6 at the moment, the gap to Nick under 3 seconds. So I think after making those little mistakes, and yeah, the unlucky race start, of course. So that race didn't go to plan at all. Can he finish in P6? Back to Shelty versus Oscar. Let's see, Oscar gaining another 2-3 tenths on that lap so far. But the time is running out. Less than 10 minutes to go, 3.2 seconds. The gap tire wear looks okay. I think in the Corvette roughly the same as Shelty in the 4C. 3 tenths gained. Let's have a look at Richie on soft tires. So definitely improving. Personal best in that middle sector. No purple though. Not sure that slide didn't really help. But we get an idea. How close will he be to that 39.0? It's 42, so still needs to find more than a second. Slugsy picking up the pace a little bit. 3 seconds to gap to Nick. Should be safe. He racing 2.5 to Oscar. Oscar 2.7. So yeah, gaining 3 tenths again. I think 41.1 versus a 40.6. That is half a second now crossing line. So half a second per lap, and he's right behind Shelty. So if he can continue in that trend. Also River now struggling with the lap times. 41.3. Oh, the front left looking iffy. Shelty gained at least a second, maybe more. Over those last couple of minutes. Yeah, this could get very spicy towards the end. 6 minutes to go. So let's have a look. 140, 325. Four laps to go, if I'm not mistaken. 3.5 seconds between River and Shelty, and 3 seconds between Shelty and Oscar. Oscar with a little mistake, I think, this time. Shelty with a 40.8, Oscar with a 41.1. So for the first time since, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, Shelty a bit quicker than Oscar, and also gaining on River. Set 5 minutes to go. We will keep an eye on that. It's jump to Slugsy 2.6 the gap to Nick. So also Nick with a chance finish that race in P6. Richie 49.4, so making progress on that fastest lap attempt. Tires are starting to wear again, so we'll see. Maybe he's spinning again this lap, gets some fresh softs. I think the gap to Ollie Henry should be big enough to keep a P8 at least. And 4 minutes to go, 3 more laps, then it is. And 3 seconds, River to Shelty, P2, P3. Oscar now dropping into the 41s, while Shelty sub 41, so he was playing the long game, looking after those tires, and now he's in a position to attack. River also 41s now. It's still not much, 3-4 tenths maybe per lap. Oh, half a second. And a bit of lapped traffic. Oh, that costs River a bit of time, and the penalties. I think the problematic thing, 3 seconds, so he got a good run into Dunlop. It's 2.7 for now. Delta's jumping up and down a little bit within 2-3 tenths. I think it's fair to say that this gap will drop under 2 seconds, and with 2 laps to go for River. Shelty to Oscar 3 seconds, that gap stays same, and B Racing pushing. So River serving that penalty now, it was 2.6. Shelty gets some extra tow from the BMW. 1.6, 1.5, he's creeping back into slipstream range for the final 2 laps of this race. 1.3, massive moment for Shelty, of course. River's front left is nearly dead. See Beetlejuice still like no match for the other drivers, dominating round 2. And this is the interesting bit. River versus Shelty for P2. The gap to Oscar 3 seconds. 3.3 and 2.6 to B Racing. Slugsy keeps that gap to Nick at a 2.5, 2.6. 1.1. 1.2. Shelty is definitely pushing, and River front left. The long right-handers, they will be painful. That final turn is one of them. So Beetlejuice will start the final lap of the GT3 Cup round 2 at Suzuka. A second coming off the final turn. River going defensive very early to the right hand side. With 1.1 seconds remaining, starting the final lap. We'll keep the position now. Oscar in P4, B Racing P5, and Slugsy P6. I think still be able to get the final lap of the race as well. Slowing down. And miscalculated that one. He braked too early, lost the position to Nick. No, what? Unlucky. Richie had a fastest lap. That didn't work. He will see the checkered flag and finish this race in P8. River versus Shelty, it's 1.4. And we have to look at Beetlejuice. Comes round the final turn now. So Richie finished in P8. Beetlejuice will win round number 2. 17 seconds the gap. And River Ruckus looks like with 1.3 seconds coming round the final turn will finish the race P2. Shelty P3, a second behind. Oscar with the 2-stop. P4 B racing. P5. Slugsy in auto drive now, so Nick with a very lucky P6 in the end. So Slugsy thought that race was already over, and then the game said nope, you will do one more lap. So Nick in the McLaren in P6, Slugsy then P7, Richie in 8, Ollie Henry P9, and Harry Savage P10. So we'll just wait for the Supra to cross the line. And that's the end of round number 2. Oh. GG's. Just wait then for the race to actually finish, and then we'll have a look at the race results graphics in a moment. Here we go. Race results are in, and then let's have a look after the screenshot thingy. So Beetlejuice with the victory, Ruckus P2 and Shelty on the podium. Oscar with the fastest lap in P4, B Racing P5, Nick P6, Slugsy P7, Richie in P8. On that second page of the results graphics we have in P9 Ollie Henry, Harry Savage P10 and 710 Cap retired the AMG early in that race. So, and let's have a quick look at the schedule. I can find it. Here we go. So, 2 rounds in. Next week we go to Watkins Glen for round number 3. You see the rest of the calendar: Mount Panorama, Suzuka, Daytona, Red Bull Ring, and Le Mans. And so then say thank you for watching, and as always, take care. Hope to see you very soon again. Until then, I love you all. Bye. Bye.